Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Marcus from the Weekly Spot, back again with another review. And today I'll be doing a movie review of Iron Man 2, the sequel to the first Iron Man film that came out 2008, and the third film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, directed by Jon Favreau. With the world now aware that Tony Stark is Iron Man, Tony is now facing pressure from all sides to share his technology with the military, but he doesn't want to pass on the secrets, fearing that the information will fall into the wrong hands. So while he's dealing with stuff from the government side, facing new enemies, he's also dealing with issues going on with his personal life. The first Iron Man movie was awesome. I love the story, the characters. It was such a fun film, and I thought it was a great introduction to the character, especially for someone like me who didn't know much about the character at the time. So, of course, I'm excited to see the sequel. But Iron Man 2, while it's not as good as the first one, it was still a lot of fun, though. Now, what is considered to be one of Iron Man's popular stories in the comics that this movie kind of adapts from is a Demon in the Bottle, a story that covers Tony's drinking problem. And I'm pretty sure that there are other comics that this movie adapts from too. But Demon in the Bottle is the one that I mostly heard or read about, which I didn't know at the time that this movie came out. And the reason why I say kind of is because based on what I read, and correct me if I'm wrong, but according to the director Jon Favreau, during the development of this was the movie that was going to explore Tony's drinking problem, but it would not be the version of the comics. While promoting the first film, Robert Downey Jr. stated that the character would develop a drinking problem, unable to cope with his age, the effects of revealing that he is Iron Man, and Pepper having a boyfriend. But then Robert Downey Jr. He later said that the film was not a strict adaptation of the Demon in the Bottle storyline from the comic book series, but was instead about the interim space between the origin and the Demon story arc. And it does seem to look like that, as it's not like a 100% adaptation to the story, but rather taking some elements of Demon in the Bottle and giving you hints to Tony's drinking problem, with the addition to Tony finding out that he's dying. And in this movie, you just see like he just starts acting wild without a care in the world. And on top of that, he's got the government wanting his suit, so he's dealing with things on the political side. He's dealing with another industrialist and rival Justin Hammer and Whiplash, who wants revenge on Tony for what his family did to his family. So there's a lot going on in this film. Robert Downey Jr. is still awesome as Tony Stark. We got Gwyneth Paltrow back as Pepper Potts. We see in this movie that Tony and Pepper's relationship is being taken further and built upon, and I still love the chemistry between the two. Terrence Howard, who played Rhodey in the first Iron Man film, was recasted, and now there are articles and videos about it saying different things, like he was difficult to work with, they cut his pay, like whatever the reason was, like the guy had a falling out with Marvel. And going by the articles and the videos I've checked out, there were a lot of things going on into making this film. Apparently, like it wasn't just Terrence Howard leaving. So in this movie, in the MCU, we have Don Cheadle playing the character. And though it sucks that Terrence Howard didn't come back, I will say that I do think Don Cheadle does a good job playing Rhodey, and the chemistry between the two characters, Rhodey and Tony, I still think is just as good as it was in the first Iron Man film. And we also see Rhodey as War Machine, and the suit looks awesome. This movie also gives us our first introduction to Black Widow, played by Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson, I thought, did a good job with this. I didn't know much about Black Widow at the time, but I thought this was a great introduction to the character. I thought she was pretty cool, and to me, she had one of the best action scenes in this movie and the MCU in general. Nick Fury, played by Samuel L. Jackson, who made an appearance in the after credits in the first movie. He comes back here, whose role was small but yet much bigger compared to the first, as he does have a couple more scenes here. He pretty much just shows up to like list all of Tony's like screw ups and pretty much telling him like you need to get it together. And I love the conversations between him and Tony. I thought those were like one of the better parts of the film. And as for the villains, we got two villains in here who are Justin Hammer and Ivan Vanko, aka Whiplash. Sam Rockwell I thought was really good as Justin Hammer, who's a weapons manufacturer and rival of Tony Stark. Now I don't think he's the best villain, but I thought he was hilarious in this, and I like the rivalry between him and Tony. The difference between and you see like the difference between the two, that Tony, he can at least back up how smart he is. Justin Hammer, though he is smart, he also comes off as like self-centered, overconfident, and incompetent when it comes to like the quality of his technology. Like Justin Hammer again, I thought he was cool. Whiplash, played by Mickey Rourke, on the other hand, was the weakest part. Well, one of the weakest parts of the film. And I will say though, like I like how he was introduced, and I thought he had an interesting story, but the movie didn't really spend any time with the character. Now, Mickey Rourke's performance I thought was fine, but the character himself, I felt the movie could have done much better with him. Like, he had a cool action scene with Iron Man, but after that, he was just put into the sidelines. I mean, he does have some funny moments with Justin Hammer, but they really didn't do much with his character in this movie. The story was okay, but it kind of felt like it was all over the place. Like, it didn't seem all that well balanced with all the characters, the subplots, and though this is an Iron Man movie, this felt more like a movie setting up for the Avengers. Iron Man 2, I feel like, is the weakest one in the Iron Man trilogy, and also one of the weaker movies of the MCU. The story was alright. The villains, Justin Hammer, I thought was cool, but a Whiplash I thought was disappointing. I did like the introduction of Black Widow and also bringing in War Machine. I thought the action was good. I liked the soundtrack. The movie I thought looked amazing. And like I said before, it's not as good as the first one, but it was still fun. So I would give Iron Man 2 a 3.5 out of 5. Now that is it for my review for Iron Man 2, and let me know what you think of the movie. And that'll be it for this video for today. This is Marcus from The Weekly Spot. More content will be coming out soon, but until then, take care everyone.